19th century India. One evening, inside a temple near Kolkata, a priest picked up a sword, not to defend himself, not to threaten anyone, but because God would not answer him. For months he had wept under the image of Kali. He had fasted, sang, begged, nothing. The silence became unbearable. If you are real, show yourself. And when no answer came, he lifted the sword. In that instant, the temple dissolved, the walls disappeared, the world vanished. Only an infinite ocean of consciousness remained. No priest, no goddess, no separation. When the silence ended, the world did not return the same way. And the man who had lifted the sword, he would go on to challenge devotion, break philosophy, and redefine spirituality in India. His name was Ramakrishna Paramhansa. But how does a temple priest reach a moment like this? To understand that, we must go back. While journeying through his story, something subtle will happen. Bhakti will stop looking naive. Gyan will stop looking cold. Reason will stop feeling complete. And devotion will stop feeling blind. What will emerge instead is a living question, one that Ramakrishna never answered for anyone. Can you stop standing outside truth and step into it? Ramakrishna was born in 1836 in the small village of Kamarpukur, Bengal, to a poor but deeply religious family. From early childhood, there was something unmistakably different about him. While other children played games, young Gadadhar, as he was named, would lose himself in states of rapture while singing devotional songs or listening to stories of the gods. One early incident became legendary. While walking along a field path, he saw a light of white cranes against a dark monsoon sky, and he was gone. Not figuratively, not poetically. The cranes did not teach him anything. They did not confirm a belief or resolve a doubt. They simply arrived, and he, for a moment, was gone. Ask yourself honestly, how much of what you call spiritual experience is genuine dissolution, and how much is emotion you have learned to recognize and name? To Ramakrishna, these experiences were not mystical achievements. They were natural responses of his utterly open heart. As a young man, Ramakrishna became a priest of the Kali temple in Dakshineshwar near Calcutta. This is where his life took a dramatic turn. Standing before the image of goddess Kali, he did not see stone or symbolism. He saw the living mother. But devotion soon turned into agony. He wept, begged, and pleaded with the divine to reveal herself. Days passed without food. Nights were spent crying before the altar. At one point, unable to bear the separation any longer, Ramakrishna resolved to end his life with the temple sword. And then it happened. In his own words, he described seeing an ocean of consciousness rushing toward him, engulfing everything, including himself, within and without. Ask yourself gently, what are you willing to lose in order to know what is real? For Ramakrishna, this moment shattered the sense of an individual seeker. From here onward, spirituality was no longer practice. It was a lived reality. What makes Ramakrishna extraordinary is not just his devotion to Kali, but his radical openness to all spiritual paths. Under the guidance of different teachers, he moved through Vedanta, Tantra, and Bhakti. But then he went further, into territories that would have scandalized most of his contemporaries. He began practicing Islam, not studying it, not respecting it from a distance, living it. He dressed as a Muslim, he ate as a Muslim. He turned away from the Kali image he had wept before for years and repeated only the name of Allah. For days, the temple priest became something his own tradition had no category for. And the realization came. The same ocean, the same dissolution, a different door, leading to the same room. Then came Christianity. He sat with an image of Madonna and child. He meditated on the life of Jesus. And one afternoon, he described seeing a figure of light moving toward him, radiant, silent, until it merged into his own awareness completely. He did not convert, he did not compare. He simply knew. And from that knowing came words that were not tolerance, not diplomacy, but a direct report. As many faiths, so many paths. Pause here. This was not a liberal sentiment. It was a statement of personal experiences. Repeated, verified, lived. Ask yourself, is your openness to paths intellectual? Or have you ever actually entered one? Despite his towering realizations, Ramakrishna remained utterly simple, often behaving like a child. He spoke in parables, jokes, and earthy metaphors. He compared God realization to drunkards staggering in bliss, or to a salt doll dissolving in the ocean while trying to measure its depth. This was not accident, it was precision. He knew the truth cannot be handed over as a philosophy alone. It must bypass the intellect and strike the heart. Notice something subtle here. Why do stories move you more deeply than arguments do? Could it be that truth is recognized and not concluded? Ramakrishna taught that scholarship without realization was like counting another man's wealth. What mattered was direct seeing. To understand the fullness of Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, we must look at two extraordinary figures who entered his life, each pulling him in seemingly opposite directions, yet both serving the same truth. Before we continue, ask yourself, does truth come to us gently, or does it sometime arrive like a thunderbolt? Ramakrishna's life tells us both can happen. In the lush devotional world of Dakshineshwar walked a stark, ash-covered monk. His name was Totapuri, a wandering ascetic of the Advaita Vedanta tradition. Totapuri had spent 40 years absorbed in realization of the formless absolute and regarded image worship as a lower step, a concession to the unripe mind. When he saw Ramakrishna worshipping Kali, he laughed. "Go beyond form," he said. Ramakrishna tried, but every time he meditated, Kali appeared. Totapuri grew impatient. He pressed a shard of glass between Ramakrishna's eyebrows. "Concentrate here, cut through it," and something extraordinary happened. Inwardly, Ramakrishna took the sword of discrimination and cut through even the beloved image of the mother. Form vanished, only pure, infinite awareness remained. The scream of the devotee died, and the silence of the Brahman was born. Ask yourself carefully, if your most sacred belief stood in the way of the truth, would you dare to cut through it? But here is the miracle. He did not reject Kali afterward. He moved freely between form and formless. He showed that devotion and non-duality are not enemies. They are different languages of the same silence. Even Totapuri, the uncompromising Advaitin, eventually acknowledged Ramakrishna's spiritual stature. The teacher of non-duality had met someone who could include non-duality without denying devotion. People began to whisper, "Is he enlightened or unstable?" Then came a tantric scholar and mystic, Bhairavi Brahmani. She did not dismiss his ecstasies, she tested them. She sat with him through extended sessions of meditation and devotional absorption, states where Ramakrishna would lose all body consciousness for hours at a stretch. She cross-referenced what she witnessed against tantric texts, yogic manuals, and scriptural accounts of realized beings. One by one, she matched the experiences against the tradition's own criteria. And she declared, "These states are described in our tradition. He is not mad, he is realized." Pause here. Why did Ramakrishna, already enlightened, submit himself to discipline and verification? Because realization in his life was never about ego. He allowed truth to be tested, refined, and expressed through multiple lenses. Bhairavi Brahmani grounded his wild mystical states, ensuring they were not mere emotional ecstasies, but stable realizations. Through her, Ramakrishna demonstrated that spirituality does not reject structure, it transcends it, after fulfilling it. Having moved through the ancient energies of Advaita and Tantra, Ramakrishna was now ready to face the modern intellect of Calcutta. The Brahmo Samaj, founded by thinkers like Raja Ram Mohan Roy and later by Keshav Chandra Sen, rejected idol worship, rituals, and mythological imagery. They emphasized a rational, ethical, formless God, aligned closely with the Western monotheism and Enlightenment ideals. One evening, Keshav Chandra Sen himself came to Dakshineshwar, surrounded by educated followers, notebooks in hand, ready to examine this ecstatic temple priest who seemed untouched by modern skepticism. The room was polite, but the tension was real. Sen leaned forward and asked directly, "How can the infinite be worshipped through an image? Is form not a limitation on the absolute?" Ramakrishna listened without defensiveness. Then he smiled and said, "Water can be seen as ice, liquid, or vapor. Is any one form false? The infinite can manifest with form for the devotee and without form for the philosopher." Then he added something quiet, almost offhand, that struck the room into silence. "So long as God is thought of, he has form." Pause here, let that land. Ask yourself, is your idea of a formless God truly formless, or just another mental image, dressed as philosophy? Ramakrishna did not oppose the Brahmo Samaj. He deeply respected their commitment to ethics, to reform, to clearing away superstition. He simply pointed towards something their framework had not yet made room for. The possibility that devotion, taken all the way, arrives at the same destination as philosophy. Their sincerity he honored completely. He simply suggested it was a beginning, not a conclusion. To him, denying form entirely was not liberation from limitation. It was simply a different limitation, one that happened to feel more sophisticated. Look at what has quietly accumulated. From Totapuri, Ramakrishna learned the annihilation of all distinctions. From Bhairavi Brahmani, he absorbed the power and precision of Tantra. From the Brahmo Samaj, he engaged with modern reason and reform. And yet, he remained untouched, fluid, childlike. Ask yourself, what kind of mind can pass through such extraordinary worlds without becoming fragmented? Only a mind that is no longer centered in itself. Ramakrishna's life answers one of the most urgent modern questions. Can spirituality be universal without becoming shallow? His answer was not theoretical, it was lived. Among all who came to Dakshineshwar, one figure would carry Ramakrishna's fire into the world more than any other. His name was Narendranath Dutt. Later, the world would know him as Swami Vivekananda. But when he first arrived, he came not as a disciple, but as a challenger. Narendra was everything Ramakrishna was not, Educated, sharp, trained in Western logic and philosophy. He had read Herbert Spencer and debated theology with the confidence of someone who believed that reason, given enough time, could settle every question. He looked at the ecstatic temple priest and was not impressed. Their first real exchange was almost confrontational. "Have you seen God?" Narendra asked. Not reverently, but the way a lawyer asks a question he expects to expose. Ramakrishna didn't pause, didn't qualify, didn't reach for scripture. "Yes, I see him as clearly as I see you, only more intensely." Something in that answer was different. Not the words. Narendra had heard religious claims before. It was the absence of performance in them. No drama, no seeking of effect, just a simple statement of fact. Narendra kept returning. He argued, tested, pushed back. And each time, Ramakrishna met him not with counter-argument, but with presence. At one point, Ramakrishna simply touched him. What happened next, Narendra described for the rest of his life as something for which he had no adequate language. The boundaries of his carefully constructed self disappeared. The skeptic had encountered something his skepticism could not process. He did not abandon reason. He never did. But from that point forward, reason became his instrument, not his ceiling. Pause and sit with this carefully. Is it possible that your most sophisticated arguments about truth are also your most sophisticated defenses against it? The mystic had found his messenger, and the messenger had found what no argument had ever given him. Not proof, but contact. In his final years, Ramakrishna's body was failing. Throat cancer made it painful to speak, and yet people kept coming, and he kept receiving them. His disciples begged him to stop, to rest, to protect himself. He looked at them with something between amusement and tenderness. Should I lock myself up? I have so many to look after. There is something worth pausing on here, not as biography, but as demonstration. This was a man who had dissolved the self completely in samadhi, who had passed through every major spiritual tradition and came out on the other side, who had, by any measure, arrived. And yet, he remained available, radically, almost stubbornly available. Not because he was attached to being needed, but because, for him, there was no longer a sharp line between his own being and the people sitting before him. When asked if he was suffering, he simply said, "The body is in pain, the mind is in bliss." In 1886, he died, and his last recorded words to his grieving disciples were not a teaching, not a doctrine, not a final instruction. Just this: "I'm going, but where can I go? I shall remain with you." Ask yourself, not sentimentally, but seriously, if the self is not ultimately a fixed, bounded thing, then what exactly is that ties? Before we part, pause once more, not to remember what you have heard, but to notice what has quietly shifted within you. The life of Ramakrishna Paramahamsa does not leave us with doctrines, commandments, or conclusions. It leaves us with something far more unsettling and far more alive. It leaves us with questions that dissolve the questioner. Through devotion that burned away the self, he showed that love, when taken seriously, leads beyond emotion, into identity. Through non-duality that erased all distinctions, he showed that wisdom, when taken fully, leaves no one behind to claim it. And through his fearless crossing of paths, forms, and faiths, he revealed a truth many resist even today. Truth does not compete, it includes. Pause and consider this carefully. If Ramakrishna could kneel before Kali, dissolve into the formless absolute, chant the name of Allah, contemplate Christ, and return smiling, then perhaps the problem has never been which path is right. Perhaps the problem has been our attachment to paths rather than to truth. One of his simplest teachings carries a profound challenge. God is realized when the ego disappears, not when knowledge increases, not when beliefs improve, but when one who needs certainty quietly fades. So ask yourself honestly and without hurry, are you seeking comfort or transformation? Ramakrishna did not ask the world to become mystical. He only asked it to become sincere. Sincere enough to love deeply, sincere enough to question fearlessly, sincere enough to let go when the moment demands it. Enlightenment is not an escape from life. It is the courage to experience life without defenses. And perhaps this is worth sitting with. Even this story is a finger pointing. The moment you see what it points toward, you may let the finger go. The divine is not waiting at the end of the path. It is waiting for you to stop standing apart.